Namaskar, friends. This is Shekhar Mayanil here with a brand new episode number 10 of Sri Bharat CharitAmrit Sindhu. So, before I begin, let me bow down and take blessings from Hanumanji Maharaj, who is none other than my breath, and of course, Lord Ganesha to bless this episode. Thank you very much. So, let me share the screen and share my first slide. So, episode 10, the real theme of this is how Bharat Ji establishes CAA, which is conscious living, awareful living, and alert living. Now, Sri Ram, who represents knowledge, when he is made to go to the forest, obviously, Sita Ji, who represents Bhakti, and Lakshman Ji, who represents Vairagya, has to follow the knowledge. These three always stay together. So, this is exactly how Bharat Ji wanted to create or re-establish CAA in Ayodhya. And that's why he says, Hit Hamar Siyapati Sevakai. Means my good is only in serving the Lord, which means the knowledge. And once you serve the knowledge, bhakti and vairagya has to follow. And that is what brings conscious, awareful, and alert living. That is exactly how Bharatji did. So, if you understand this slide, this is it. Now, let's discuss how he gradually approaches this concept. So, when Sita ji, Ramji, and Lakshmanji had departed, and of course, it was very, very sad for King Dashrath to survive his loss like that. So he said, Ram Ram Kahi Ram Kahi, Ram Ram Kahi Ram, Tanu Parihari Raghubar Birah, Rahu Gayo Suradham. So what happened is, he just kept chanting the name of Ram, Ram, again Ram, Ram, and then he left his body. So, when King Dashrath died, Bharatji was at his maternal uncle's home and had a premonition that something is not good, something is not right in Ayodhya. So, it's almost like as if coming event casts the shadow before. You see, whenever any event happens, it doesn't happen immediately. There are some people who have and who have a very high uh, what you call intuitive intelligence. That is exactly what happened to Bharatji. Bharatji started to see weird what dreams, and sometimes whenever those dreams are told to somebody else, it is as if it's out of blue and people don't believe in it. And that is what he could not tell anybody, because he felt that it will be considered as if it is not right. So, and just then he got a message from Ayodhya that he needs to come directly to Ayodhya rapidly right now. So that's what happened. And he went doing so after hearing it. Now, this intuitive intelligence that Bharatji had only comes to those people who have a very pure heart with malice towards none. Okay, these are the people who have that kind of very clean-hearted people only get highest quality of intuitive intelligence, and they trust that actually. Now, when he started to go towards Ayodhya from his maternal uncle's home, evil omen started to occur as he entered the city. crows cawed in an ominous way at undesirable places. So donkeys, jackals gave a cry that foreboded evil. Like they in the normally jackal and donkeys may cry at night or something like that, but not during the daytime, right? But these people are doing that also. Lakes, rivers, groves, and garden has lost their charm, as if they have been wilted. The leaves have gone, uh, as if the plant or tree has not been watered for years. That type of appearance the whole city happened to have. The city was absolutely dismally looking. Birds, fawns, horses, elephants were too wretched to look at. Even the animals were feeling the pangs of separation from Sri Ram. What to talk about human beings? The entire people of the city, both men and women were extremely miserable, as though they have lost everything they had in their position. That was the situation. So with that situation, he it was a confirmed thing for him that whatever that dream he saw must be correct. There is something real, a disaster has happened in Ayodhya. So hurriedly he went to his mother's palace, Kaikeyi's palace, and he asked, "Kahu kah tat, kaha sab mata, kah siya Ram Lakhan priya bhrata." Tell me, mother, where is my father? And where are all the mothers? Sumitra ji and Kaushalya ji, where are they? And where is Sita ji and my beloved brothers, Ram and Lakshman? I don't see them. And then Kaikeyi ji says, Tat बात में सकल सवारी भय मंथरा सहाय बिचारी कछुक काज बिधि बिच बिगाड़ेओ भूपति सुरपति पुर पग धारेओ. Means, Bharat, I have accomplished everything for you, and the poor mantra, which we always used to be like call her despicable, but she was of great help to me actually. And just before our plan could be completed, the king died. So Bharatji asked, what was that plan that because of which the king died? So she said that I had your father has promised two boons to me, and he said you can ask them anytime you want. And I thought this was the best time to ask. So why I asked him, uh, king, that you should be the king of Ayodhya after him, and Ram has to go to the forest for 14 years. This is all I asked. This is what I felt was correct and right for you, because that was for you I asked that. And that's why the king died. So this was the thing. Now that he has died, you have to assume the throne now as soon as possible. And the moment he heard about Ram's exile to the forest, Bharatji forgot about his father's death, and realizing in his heart that it was he who was at the root of it all, he remained mute and stupefied, even though he was not. Now he has to justify, he has to prove that he was not there, not the one responsible for this. Because what is happening now in Ayodhya, all the people are thinking Bharatji is hand in glove with his mother, and they are trying to do some uh, underground activity to make him king. But that was not the truth. So he said, if you bore such deep malice in your heart, why did you not kill me as soon as I was born? Your actions are like cutting down the tree you have watered just to keep one leaf alive. I mean, that is the kind of action you have done right now. And you are almost draining the pond of all its waters to keep one and to keep the fishes alive. That is That is, I just don't get it. He says, even though I may claim the descent of, I am a descendant of a solar dynasty, with King Dashrath as my father, and Ram and Lakshman for my brothers, I have you as my mother. Right? How can that be possible? I mean, of all the thing, everything good was going on for me. Now that you are my mother, that is the worst thing that can happen to me. Such is, one is so much powerless against providence. So he was thinking that, I mean, everything is good, but of all the things, there has to be the darkest place is under the candlestick, right? That's exactly what he was saying. Now he says, tell me, mother, which living creature in this world to whom Sri Ram is not dear as life itself? He was actually hinting at Ram is the substratum for everything in this universe. Sarveshu Ramante iti Rama, which means that which pervades everything is Ram. So everything that pervades and everything has to be Ram has to be dear to everything, because that's what the substratum of everything is. Right? Yet even that Ram appeared to be as to you as a great enemy. I just cannot get. Now, he was the only analogy that he could come up with uh, was the snake, mother snake eating her babies. That is the only place where mother eats the her own babies, right? Snake eat them. Tell me, mother, to what species do you belong? I mean, he was almost hinting at that. So he said, जब तय कुमति कुमत जिय ठयो खंड खंड होय हृदय न गयो बर मागत मन भई नहीं पीरा गरी न जीव मुह परेव न कीरा भूप प्रतीत तोर किन कीन्ही मरण काल विधि मति हरिलीन. The moment you contrive this evil design in your mind, tell me, mother, how is it that your heart did not break into pieces? While asking for these boons, you did not even feel a sting of your conscience, not even once. Your tongue did not fall off, nor did your mouth fester. How did the king trust you even? Surely God must have robbed him of his senses on the eve of his death. And Bharat Ji was so distraught, he was so disgusted with this. So sad. Father died. His most, his almost like he used to worship his brother. That brother is been sent to the forest. And then Vashishta Muni gave him some consolation. He said, Sunahu Bharata, Bhavi Prabala, Bilakh Kaye Muninath, Hani Labh, Jivan Marana, Yash, Apyash, Vidhi Hath. I mean, that kind of a dharma gyan, people were feeding on him. All the mothers used to console him. It's okay, beta, now you please take care of your throne. You cannot, I mean, this is destiny and all that. I mean, but Bharatji did not understand anything of that. Even the ministers, even the Guru Vashishta, they all were goading to take the throne of Ayodhya. Now responds in a beautiful way. And this is where the Dharma Shastra, the Dharma Sar of Bharatji comes into play. He says, उचित की अनुचित किए विचारो धर्म जाए सिर पातक भारू तुम तो देह सरल सिख होई जो आचरत मोर भल होई यद्यपि यह समुझत हो नीके तदपि होय होत परितोषिण जी के. He says, by not pausing to think whether it is a right or a wrong thought or a decision, one fails in one duty and incurs the loads of sin. Now that sin, the word sin is very broad meaning. Sin personally and to the nation and to the people, everything, which means the entire nation goes to dogs. That is what he wants to say. If you do not pause and think whether a decision for making a person, now just go beyond Bharatji's context here and now think about in a broader context, in a national context. If a person is made the ruler or the king or a prime minister or a president of a country without pausing to think whether the decision is right or wrong, and reassessing the decision and reassessing again and again, which means exercising metacognitive intelligence. That is exactly what it is all about. Thinking about the right decision, whether it is been right or not, thinking about it, further thinking about it, and further thinking about it. If you do not do this, one fails in one's duties and incurs a load of sin, which means the nation goes to dog. Not just the sins are not of the king now. The king's sin are percolated down to the last denominator in the society. That is what he's telling us. You are surely giving me sincere advice, and when if followed, will do good to me. But that's about it. Even though I fully realized it, my heart is not satisfied. This is where he is showing metacognitive intelligence. He's he is not even he is thinking beyond his brain. He is using his heart, which means the core of the emotional aspect, which is not taken into account while you're thinking logically. This is what is metacognitive intelligence is. Now he says, my father is in heaven, and both Ram and Sita are in the forest, and now you ask me to rule the kingdom. Now, this is another very, very important thing to think about. Do you think this will do me good, or you expect some unusual gain to yourself from this arrangement? Now, Bharatji knew that there have definitely been some people. If somebody is making forcefully asking you to take this, oh please sir, take this. This is a wonderful thing. You must take this. He should pause and one step backward and think, oh, is it is there some uh, ulterior design, ulterior motive for these people, which who might gain unduly if I am becoming the prime minister or president? It is quite possible. There was one moment in our recent history in Bharat where Prime Minister uh, Indira Gandhi ji was assassinated, and her son was made the prime minister. Now he was a very nice person, very kind, very gentle person, extremely beautiful man, human being, as a very nice human being. However, his reign or his regime in his whatever that he spent the time as a prime minister was marred with a lot of corruption. He did not think one step ahead, just like Bharatji did, that maybe, even though they may think that I am the rightful person to take up the kingdom, but I don't have experience. There are a lot of other experienced people who could have done a better job. He should have thought of that. But well, that didn't happen. But it was during his tenure a lot of corruption. People, because you know what? Unusual gain for yourself from this arrangement. This was what was. Those people below him knew that for because he does not have any experience in politics or in governance, he would definitely come to ask them. So, which means they are basically in charge of his decision and everything else. And under his nose, lot of corruption happened. And this is exactly what happened later on also in the second government also. Uh, Manmohan Singh ji was a very, very gentle human being, very nice person. Very, very, very beautiful man. However, under his nose, lot of corruption happened. And that is exactly what we have suffered twice in Bharat. That unusual gain by those people below the king can lead to a very, very sorry arrangement. So Bharatji says, my good lies in the service of Sri Ram, although I have been deprived of that privilege. हित हमार शिव सियपति सेवकाई सो हरि लीन मातु कुटिलाई मैं अनुमान दीख मन माही आनो पाय मोर हित नाही शोक समाज राजु के ही लेखे लखन राम सिय बिनु पद देखे बादी बसन बिनु भूषण भारो बादी बिरति बिनु ब्रह्म विचारो. My good lies in the service of Sri Ram, although I have been deprived of that privilege through my mother's perversity. I have pondered and have realized that my good lies in no other way other than serving Lord Ram. And then he talks about various analogies where he says that of what account is this kingdom which is nothing but a abode of sorrow when the feet of Sri Lakshman, Ram and Sita are not there to be seen. A load of gel is of no use without clothes, an inquiry without Brahman, which is the absolute truth, is of little use without dispassion. No matter how much you can study Upanishads and discuss Vedanta and everything, until and unless you have dispassion and detachment, this will lead you nowhere. This is what he's saying. Then he says, abundant enjoyments are of no use to diseased body. Of little use are japa, which is basically mechanical muttering of prayers, and yoga, the exercise of mind control, without the devotion of Sri Hari. Japa and yoga have no relevance. Absolutely no, it will lead you to nowhere without devotion. A handsome body is of no use without life. And all I have is nothing without Ram. No matter, you give me the world's kingdom without Ram, no value. Grant me, therefore, to go where Ram is, and my good exclusively lies in this only. And if you seek your own good by crowning me as a king, you say so only because of sheer ignorance caused by your blind affection. This, if he had, if Rajiv Gandhi ji has said this last statement, which is in red, if you see your own good by crowning me as a king or a prime minister, you say so only because of your sheer ignorance caused by blind affection towards me. Because you loved my mother, so you are loving me. But this is sheer ignorance caused by blind affection. What a strong statement he's giving. This is the thing to be learned by prospective leaders of the country. Bharatji then gives a very, very gory analogy of a pathetic king, if not vetted properly, can cause great harm to the nation. Now he says, you say, grahit puni baat bas, tehi puni bichi mar, tehi piyaich baruni kahu kaha upchar. You say that the people of Ayodhya are feeling very feeble and sick owing to Ram's departure. Hence, I should become the king, right? And if I become a king, then all this will go away. You say that. No, no, no. The kingdom without a king, is always vulnerable to outside forces. and it's all, and people are already feeling bad and sick and feeling very miserable. So best is for you to become the king immediately and take care of the whole nation's sickness. This is the best treatment. I disagree with this treatment, Bharatji says, because it is as if a man who is possessed by some evil spirit is also affected by delirium and has been further stung by a scorpion is given a cup of highly potent and intoxicating alcoholic drink. Now, this guy is made to sit on the throne. What will happen? Tell me, what is this the kind of treatment you want? That is exactly what will happen if you make me a king. This is this is this is Bharatji's way of communicating, giving the most ugly picture that could ever he can imagine. Now he says, even my Guruji, of all the people in the planet, my Guruji, who is the ocean of wisdom. And the world says that the whole universe is like a plum in his hand, in his palm of his hand. Meant that much total control of the whole dynamics of the workings of the universe. He knows. Even he is preparing for my coronation. That is unbelievable. I mean, what is happening to you, Gurudev? That's what must be saying. Why of all the people, you too, Brutus? That's exactly what it is. Alas, he says, when fate is adverse, everything turns hostile. Then he says, the only thing that bothers me is that Sita ji, Sri Ram are undergoing hardship on my account. This is, I am at the root cause of their hardship. And then he says, unless I behold Sri Ram's feet, the agony of my soul shall not go away. So, but Sri Ram is in Chitrakuta. Now Bharat Ji has this portion of Sri Ramcharitma in Ayodhya Kand of Sri Ramcharitma is like gem in the planet. I cannot comprehend any text that good yet. Bharat Ji, how he mobilizes a sorrow-stricken population to get a renewed energy, and he set out and he created a movement of transformation, and that is what I say CAA movement happened there. Bharatji set out to Chitrakoot, and along with him came the entire people of Ayodhya, king, I mean, Gurudev, all the mothers, ministers, and all the people, except few who he put in charge of guarding Ayodhya. Everybody went on. He said, we will go to Chitrakoot and we'll do coronation of the Sri Ram right there in the forest and we will bring him here. So people were fired up. I mean, they said, this is it. So which means wherever Ram is, CAA, that's where the CAA is conscious. He created that now that whole trip of Ayodhya is beautiful. Of Chitrakoot is very beautiful. So we'll discuss that later next time. Bharatji knew that to establish CAA, which means the conscious, awareful, and alert living in the kingdom, it is imperative to have a mass movement whose sole goal is to reach Ram knowledge, Sita, which is Bhakti, and Lakshman, which is Vairagya. This is what drives CAA. Knowledge, devotion, and Vairagya, which is dispassion. And if people are steeped in ignorance, having no bhakti and no devotion, and are devoid of Vairagya or dispassion, then establishing CA in the kingdom is simply out of question. So, what does Chitrakoot represents in our brain? Being a student of neurosciences, I always try to figure out where is Chitrakoot in our brain and where is Bharatji coming from to, and what does that trip or that journey of Bharatji towards Chitrakoot represents during our brain development. So this is we'll discuss this in episode 11 of Sri Bharat CharitAmrit Sindhu. So stay tuned and thank you very very much. Please subscribe and share and like this Yogic Realization channel. I really appreciate your time and thank you very, very much. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode. Please do subscribe. Thank you very much.